A wonderful advocate for our community.
There's been talk of some of the things posted on the website. I don't know exactly
Paul
what they are,
Offit quote.
Well,
I hate it. I want it gone as much as anybody. I hate it.
There's papers on genetics and things like that. Now, Autism Speaks funded a major study on genetics.
Yes.
Which, as far as I can tell, didn't really find very much highly significant information.
I didn't either.
Although it seemed to be hyped quite a bit
Yes.
in the media. Now, if you support the purely genetic hypothesis, then any increases are necessarily better diagnosis, wider criteria, etc.
Right.
Now, you've said that your father doesn't believe that, so can I then take it by extension that your father doesn't believe in a purely genetic explanation?
He has said.
So how does he reconcile that?
He says that through all the mergers, they have to be a Big Tent organization and represent many different points of view in the autism community. And believe me, my point of view alone isn't driving Autism Speaks. It's many different people's points of view, many different researchers, and he believes there's a place for genetic research, and they believe in fulfilling their commitment. I think that was part of a longer commitment, and they will not be getting rid of genetic research, but they realize the dire need to finance the environmental research because that is what affects our children now. And my parents believe as strongly as I do that the research has got to reflect helping children living today with autism and not just future generations.
Do you think Autism Speaks will ever fund, say, a chelation trial or a study of vaccinated versus unvaccinated?
Yes. No, I think they will. I absolutely think they will. I wanted funded yesterday. That's the difference. And that's just not feasible. It just, I know I'm a tough taskmaster. You know, like all parents, we want it done, and we want it done now, and it's just, you know, any time is too long.
How much money was raised in the Bill Cosby concert?
I think $1.5 million.
And that's all going into
environmental research.
In forms of grants, or?
Yes, I believe so.
What do you think about the state of media coverage of this story? Autism in general, particularly environmental issues. Oprah was a bit of a milestone, but generally, do you think that there's adequate coverage, fair coverage? Do you think there's some censorship?
No, grossly inadequate coverage. When I first saw you on the show, I was so hoping it would lead to a lot more coverage, and I mean, I guess it did improve the situation, but I see so much more coverage of things that are of so much less importance, like avian flu and things that don't even affect us. I think that the coverage of autism, unfortunately, has shown many journalists just to be lazy and doing what's easy, just picking from a headline from the CDC, going to the CDC for the same quote from the same person, getting the same answer. Stories by Jill N.A.A.R in Discover magazine are few and far between. She did a lot of work and did a lot of digging rather than just print the silly things just because they make a headline.
Do you think there's a certain amount of censorship, particularly when we talk about vaccines?
Oh, I can imagine. There must be, yeah, absolutely.
What would you tell parents watching this video, both in terms of, well, if you don't want to tell them what to do with their children, what to do with themselves? What should they be doing in terms of getting involved?
There's no more exhausted, harder working, financially strapped parents than parents of autistic kids. They're an inspiration to me every day when I meet them and talk to them, and I'm so fortunate, and I don't have any of the problems to the degree they do, except for the severity of my child. I would encourage them to continue to do what they feel is right and ask for answers and ask questions and seek the treatments that they feel will benefit their children.
Okay. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, David.